Each year, over 200,000 people embark on the Camino de Santiago, a pilgrimage across Spain consisting of over 800 kilometers. Different people from all over the world, each person with their own pain, their own goals, and their own story. And this is my story. This is my Camino.
Caminando, te busco pero no te encuentro.
Buenos días.
El viaje a veces se me hace duro a tu lado. La mochila pesa, ay, 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 es el precio que tengo que pagar para estar contigo, maldita realidad.
So let's start from the beginning. I was in a relationship and very much in love. Her and I created memories in places I had only dreamt of. After traveling for some time and doing volunteer work abroad, I had to return to the United States. Eager to get back to her, I bought a plane ticket to the EU the instant I received my first paycheck. A month and a half before my flight, my girlfriend broke up with me. After so much life was exchanged between us, it was over. Heartbroken and lost, I spent quite some time contemplating on what I should do. Then one morning, it was as if I was placed in the passenger seat of my life, and my subconscious took full control. I had heard about the Camino de Santiago from a fellow traveler I met in Portugal. As I gazed at my world map, Spain caught my attention, and soon after, the Camino called my name, Giovanni. I knew very little about this pilgrimage. All I knew was that I was lost. I needed to find myself, and I was willing to walk from one side of the country to the other. The day of my departure had come, April the 1st, 2017. What better way to start than with 4 flights and a day and a half at different airports? My flight was originally to Geneva, Switzerland, but given everything that happened, plans of course changed. I had been to Barcelona a couple of years ago and fell in love with that beautiful city. The people, culture, atmosphere, and the coastal life. I knew spending a week there would give me plenty of time to prepare myself mentally. To me, it was like my last meal before this 1 month pilgrimage. As that week came to an end, I was leaving with great memories. Friends from my hometown who were traveling abroad for the first time, Alex and Belen, as well as new friends from Australia, Chile, and Canada. When you travel, you meet people who you connect with before you even finish a beer, and Jamie was one of them. A French Canadian girl from Quebec who was a walking DJ and knew just about every song. I couldn't imagine inventing all those drinking games at the beach without you. So cheers to you, Madame Gigi.
To the people.
All right, fuck it.
Goodbye forever.
The beautiful people.
Goodbye forever.
Salud.
As we took our last shots, I couldn't help but think about my pilgrimage and how real everything was getting. I observed everyone at the table and wished that they would continue to be those beautiful humans who I shared endless laughters on those Barcelona shores.
I'm gonna be all sticky.
Mi familia de Barcelona.
There it is.
And there I was on a bus heading towards northern Spain, to the town of Irún, in the western Pyrenees that straddles the border between France and Spain, what's known as the Basque Country, El País Vasco.
I work through the seams and burn you in fire. I cursed all the kings with devils in their bones.
As the hours passed, the landscape began to change, and in those moments, I'll never forget looking outside the window and feeling the unknown part of this journey invite me in, slowly opening its doors.
Back, let go, the best around. I left unfound.
So I just made it to Irún, Spain, where I'm going to be starting this pilgrimage of mine. Just got here. Now I'm on my way to my hotel. Wicked.
There are many routes that lead to Santiago de Compostela, which is the capital of Galicia in northwestern Spain. The route I chose was the Camino del Norte, over 823 kilometers, about 512 miles. I was going to be walking close to the coast for something like 3/4 of the way, and the thought of that always gave me hope. The night before, I stayed up pretty late going over the route I would be taking. Funny thing is, that morning I had no idea where to even begin. A lady saw me wandering about, and she pointed me in the right direction. Then, I heard those magical words for the first time. Buen camino.
Hola. Buenos días.
That first day was like a dream. The blue ocean in the distance, mountains as far as the eyes could see, messages left behind by people along the way, and animals living a happy, peaceful life. Everything about that day was perfect. Once you arrive at El Puerto de Pasaya, there is a small boat that one must take to continue to the city of San Sebastián. It was in this small town that reality kicked in. I knew at that moment that this journey had indeed begun.
Santiago, ¿qué
Mañana que no
Compostela?
tenemos muchos días, vamos a tener solo hasta el domingo.
Oh, vale.
Vamos a hacer 4 etapas.
Ah,
Relajado.
sí, todo tranquilo.
Sí.
Mira nomás. También se puede hacer eso.
On that boat ride, I met 4 Spanish women who had a week off work due to Semana Santa, Holy Week. Ana, Elena Luna, Carmen, y Maria. Many Spaniards take this time off to walk a few days of the Camino, and the following year, they continue where they left off. I ended up staying an extra day in San Sebastian to enjoy the city and beach. Day 2 felt a lot like day 1. To be honest, I've never done any long distance treks, but I've always had an immense love for nature. So much so that I was always entertained in my own ways. After walking hours and hours and seeing the 787 marker was hard to fathom. When I saw that, my mind just couldn't process the distance or see the end to this journey. However, I had all the time in the world, and in the end, I was grateful for having that. By day 3, I was getting familiar with the feeling of repacking my bag and moving forward. I also met 3 guys that, just like Elena and her friends, were taking advantage of the days off work to be on the Camino. As soon as I arrived at the albergue, which is like a hostel for pilgrims on the Camino, I was reunited with Elena and her friends. That was our last night together, and when we parted ways, Elena gave me many things I'd later be grateful for: earplugs, Vaseline for my feet, and beautiful insights. That night, I learned something every peregrino learns along the way, and that is that the Camino provides. Elena was so informative in the hours we walked together the days before. She told me how the Camino de Santiago dates back further than the church itself, that thousands of years ago the Romans and Celtics would embark on this journey, always in the direction of the setting sun. With all due respect, I'm not a religious person, so this information excited me. The energy shifted, and I immediately felt as if I was on a quest to Mordor. Semana Santa was over and most people had to return home. The Camino for now seemed desolate. However, I was never truly alone. I had the animals, plants, and trees, mountains and wind, but most importantly, I had myself. I needed that solitude, and those moments allowed me to dive into the depths and crevices of who I believe Giovanni to be.
Yes.
Give me just one reason to stay. A greater culture is far, far away.
And we keep going and going.
Right foot left, right foot left.
Bilbao. So I just made it to Bilbao. It was about a 20-mile hike today, and in San Sebastian, me and my friend Tyler met a girl named Ashley Walker who lives in Bilbao, and she said I could crash for the night, which is awesome. And I'm so stoked because I just am. I love how the world works. I love how things like that just happen. So yeah, she's on her way now. I'm gonna crash tonight, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stay the night in Bilbao just to check out the city, let the feet rest, and just plan my next move. So today I left Bilbao. I was there for something like 3 days. And now I'm back at this. Probably like the whole day has been super, like passing through industrial areas and whatnot. I have to get it done. I have to get it over with. You see how it goes. Gotta stop making that stupid face. Like, fuck that face. Can't make that face again. After hours and hours of walking, I've made it once again to the beach. It's so mental. I've been walking since fucking something like 10 o'clock this morning, and it's already 8:38. So I've decided that this is where I'm gonna camp out tonight. I think it was about 4 or 5 kilometers more to get to another city and find an albergue, but fuck that. So here it goes. I mean, can't beat the sight, right? Even if I don't fall asleep, I'll be staring at the stars for quite some time. Easily the coldest night I've ever slept in my life. Oh gosh, it was so cold last night. I kept waking up every other hour, but I'm gonna go have café con leche somewhere. Yes.
That evening, I made it to Castruriales, the first city of the region of Cantabria along the Camino del Norte. In total, there is 4 regions, and words couldn't express the feeling of completing the first, El País Vasco. Now, Cantabria, then Asturias, and finally, Galicia. Después de andar por casi una semana solo, me había preguntado que si alguna vez encontraría más personas. Y ese día me había encontrado con Félix y el José. Los conocí en Getaria durante el desayuno, y hasta ese punto eran los únicos que también iban en ruta hasta Santiago. No lo sabía en esos momentos, pero los dos se convertirían en mis hermanos para toda la vida. Era increíble estar ahí. En esos momentos estaba muy agradecido con mi cuerpo, por luchar junto con mi mentalidad y por no rendirse del cansancio de cada día. Caminamos juntos, con y sin lluvia, hasta llegar al pueblo de Güemes, donde había un albergue que recomendaban quedarse. El albergue del abuelo, un lugar con muchos voluntarios y con mucha historia. Fue aquí que me di cuenta qué tan grande era el camino. Esa tarde nos reencontramos con gente que habíamos conocido los días anteriores. John, un húngaro de 82 años, era un superhéroe y ejemplo que la edad es solo un número. Sin duda, que él vivía su sobrenombre a lo máximo, el toro. That day, I met a beautiful woman in the garden named Camille. She was a journalist from California with a captivating personality. I didn't know it then, but she would later play a beautiful role in this story of mine. Sin falta estaba María, una española de Valencia con una alma hermosa que lo decía todo con solo una sonrisa. Juntos María, José, Félix y yo caminaríamos y pasaríamos momentos que jamás olvidaré en esta vida. Sin saberlo, nos ayudábamos con solo nuestras risas y conversaciones, que al fin hacían pasar el tiempo y kilómetros.
Beer.
When we arrived at the albergue in Bueno, they had a restaurant next to it, and because of that, there was no kitchen for us to use, and they barely let us borrow one plate.
Digo, pero ¿qué más da uno liso que uno hondo? A ver, explícamelo usted. Digo, si usted me va a dejar un plato, que me lo ha dicho, ¿qué más da uno que otro? Digo, no estoy pidiendo dos.
Regardless, we had my pot, an empty can of tuna, and a 96% proof bottle of alcohol. We each took turns heating and eating off of one plate and using only one spoon. A reminder that no matter how bad things get, never forget to enjoy the simple
Las
things.
cosas sencillas.
Así, sí. Luego cuando llegas a casa y comes ya bien y valoras la casa, ¿sabes?
Como todo, man.
Así.
Todito.
Esto es el camino, ahí llegas y con una lata de atún haces un algo.
Damn!
En Huelna nos despedimos de María, pero como dicen, no es un adiós, es nos vemos pronto. Cantabria was now behind me, and I had now entered the region of Asturias. I love how each region had their own unique